guys, and welcome back to a new video, and welcome to Dartmoor National Park. Always lovely to visit here. Before I get started, I'm already having a good morning because I drove past a visitor centre which was open, which I know it's the middle of summer, it should be open, but because I usually come to Dartmoor early in the morning or in the winter time when it's not as busy, they're always closed when I visit. So I went in and I got myself this snazzy Dartmoor National Park hat. So I'm already having a good day, and I'm going on holiday in a few days, so this will come in handy. But anyway, on to today's video. Also, I haven't introduced myself. Welcome back to my channel if you watched previous videos, or welcome if you're new. I'm Holly and I'm a wildlife photographer, and today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be testing out my different camera supports. So I have a tripod, a monopod and a beanbag, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to test each one on what I'm hoping is either not donkeys, there's no donkeys in Dartmoor, some Dartmoor ponies or some sheep. And what we're going to do is we're going to do like a comparison between all of them and see which one I prefer. I know which one I prefer, but I'm going to talk through my decision and why I feel like that. And we're going to start off with the tripod because that is the one that's on my backpack currently, and then I'm going to go back to the car and get the monopod, and then later on we'll use the beanbag as well. And so we're just going to, what my plan is to talk about the setup and why I like or don't like them, and then I'm gonna film some sheep with it, or a pony, or whatever happens to be in view, and then we're gonna do like a comparison of the different footage and the different photographs that I take on each one and talk about it. And so I hope you find this video useful. Hopefully someone does. But yeah, let's go and find some sheep, I guess. Well, I can't see it. Most of them are hanging about by the road, which is quite funny because there's a sign that says warning, sheep laying on road, and immediately below the sign there is a sheep, which is quite funny. But I'm going to head over there and we're going to set up the tripod and test it out. So just down here you can see the sheep that's lying in the road. Unfortunately, I think the sheep lying in road sign is on the other side, so I don't know if I should walk all the way around to see it, but it's quite funny that he's just sat there. There he is. Right guys, so hopefully you can hear me and see me on the GoPro cam, but I thought before I walked over to the sheep I should show you my tripod. This is it. It is a Valbon EF44. Oh no, it's okay. I thought I'd... So one of the disadvantages of the tripod is that it has to have a little connecty thing to the camera, and for a minor second I thought I'd left it at home, but I think it's already on the camera because I knew I would forget about it. Anyway, so it is a Valbon EF44 tripod. It's just a little one. It extends 3 times or whatever. I don't know much about tripods because if you didn't know already, the tripod is like my least favourite one. And this one is actually this one's actually quite dusty because I keep it in the cupboard and I basically never take it out of the cupboard to use it because it annoys me so much. And what annoys me most about it is the setting up. Firstly, the little connecty thing, I always forget that at home. I think there's a video where I actually talk about it because I carried the whole thing with me, and it's not like heavy, but when you add it to your backpack it kind of adds up. And there was a video that I filmed where I wanted to use the tripod and then I didn't have the connector, so that went badly wrong. So that already annoys me. And second thing that annoys me is it's quite clicky and clunky to set up, and I find if I'm out in the field and I see some wildlife and I want to like take a picture and I want to shoot it straight away, by the time I've set up the tripod it's like either like flown off or just walked away, and then you have to put the whole thing away again. So I find it quite clunky and annoying already. It's probably, I imagine there is more efficient tripods out there, and ones with different heads and whatever, but this one just came free with my camera, so it's probably not the best anyway, but it was quite nice that it came free. So yeah, so this is it, and then I don't know how high I'll have to make it, but we'll go over and find some sheep and I'll put my camera on it and we will film something. It's also, this is quite stiff to move around, which also annoys me. I mean, you can loosen it, but then I just find that the tripod is already my least favourite. But let's go film something with it and then we can compare. Tripod set up and there's some sheep over there if you can see them, and it's already annoying me because it's not sitting straight on the tripod and I don't know why. So you know when builders use those things that tells you if it's sitting straight, the camera is not sitting straight on top of the tripod, so I don't know what's happening there, but it's just not working. Right guys, I currently have my camera set up to film on the tripod even. This very cute little sheep over here, for no particular reason. The sheep isn't doing it, but it's a very cute sheep. It's also gone quite cloudy, which means my hat is no longer serving much purpose. But anyway, I walked down the road to see if I could get a picture of the sheep next to the beware sheep lying on road. Sadly they'd moved, but I did get one from quite a distance. And in terms of tripod use, it's just annoying me, if I'm being honest. It's annoying to carry. There's nothing to like hold on to. Your fingers get trapped in the mechanical bits of it when you're carrying it, and it's recording at a slight angle, and I don't know how to fix that. I've tried, it's not working. So we've got a slight angled video of a sheep going on, but yeah. So it's just a bit annoying, but I mean it's working, it's recording this sheep. So in that sense it does work, but in terms of other wildlife that would move away, unlike this sheep, I think it is pretty useless. So I'm going to give it like 4 stars out of 10, I think, because it is serving its purpose, but it's very annoying. It's annoying to carry, it's annoying to put together, it's annoying if you forget that little piece for your camera to attach it to. So it's just very annoying to use. So there you go, there's my professional opinion on that. Let's go get the monopod and try something else. Okay guys, so on to my camera support number 2. We have this monopod, which is my newest bit of camera equipment. It's from Three-Legged Thing. It's got a fancy name. I can't remember which one this is. It's also got this fancy triangle thing on the bottom. I can't remember what that's called either. I will find out and I will put it on the screen. But yeah, this is actually my newest piece of equipment. I got it a few months ago because I wanted to... Basically, I didn't like the tripod, as you might have been able to tell from a minute ago. So I got this instead, and firstly, it is way easier to carry. It's got this nice wrist strap, which is great. It's also got this nice, you can just grip onto it and it's not going to squish your fingers into any of the pieces. And it has this base that folds out, which is also very nice, so you get stability there. And it's, yeah. Overall, it's just very nice. I use it, yeah, and it extends out. You can do that, extends out, twist back in, really easy. And I use this for anything that is not an insect, really. Anything that requires some height, because the telephoto lens, it weighs a bit, and after a while, your arms start to ache. So anywhere that happens, we have this. So I'm gonna set it up. Also, there is no bloody attachment thing. It just screws right onto the camera, which is amazing. And that's one of the reasons I chose this one actually, is because you don't have to have that little attachment thing like on the tripod. Where is it? this little thing here, aka the bane of my life. No, so that's very good as well. So yeah, let us go and find some more sheep. I also saw a Dartmoor pony a second ago, and let's play with the monopod. So it seems as though I didn't press record on what I just said, so that's not helpful, but basically I can't remember what I last filmed because, you know, it just didn't film anything, but I prefer the monopod. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 stars. Yeah, so that's significantly higher than the tripod. The only issue that I'm slightly worried about is the stability on the videos. It's way better for photographs, but in terms of videos it does move around a bit more. And unlike the tripod, where you can kind of move the head of the camera, the monopod you kind of move the whole thing or you move nothing, which is a bit interesting. And I'm not sure what would happen if you didn't have the base, because the base that I have attached to the monopod has like a ball thing, so you can move the whole thing but the base stays still. So I don't know what would happen if you didn't have that, because that was like an extra piece that I got for more stability. So that's interesting, but I definitely prefer the monopod for photographs, and it's way quicker to use, and as I think the footage, I just took some footage of Stone Chat, which I would not have been able to get on the tripod because it's way too bulky and it's like you have to spend ages putting it up, but this one you can just bing, you're done, you're ready to take a picture. So yeah, so now we're going to go and compare the final thing, the final camera support that I use in my photography, if we don't count just handheld, and that is my beanbag. And we're going to probably drive to a different location where there is animals slightly closer to the car, because I'm going to put it on the car window, and that's how I usually use it. There we go. Or I either, so that's for large mammals and birds and stuff like that, or I put it on the ground for insects, but there's not many insects here, so we're gonna drive and use it in the car. And that is a bit different to the monopod and the tripod, but I'm going to talk about why I really like it, and it's probably on the same level as the monopod on what I use for my photographs. So yeah, that'll be interesting to talk about in a minute, so I will catch up with you in a bit. Okay guys, welcome back. I have driven about 10 minutes down the road, I think. We're still on the moor, and basically I have found a car park that has 6 ponies in, and I've set up my camera and the beanbag, and I'm going to talk through the setup in a minute, but for now I'm going to concentrate on taking some pictures of these ponies and taking a bit of a video so we can do a comparison. So I will catch up with you guys in a minute, and we'll see what footage we got right now on the beanbag. Okay, so this is our lovely beanbag. It is actually it's kind of got 2 sides to it, and you can fill up one side and then leave the other side blank if you don't want a massive beanbag. And it is by far the cheapest option in terms of camera supports that I own, in that it cost about £6, and it is actually filled with, I think it's got rice in it. I definitely took something out of the cupboard and filled it up with. And it's definitely one of my favourite camera supports. If we get my camera, just ignore the inside of my car, then we can rest the whole thing on there like that, and it is pretty much completely stable, completely flat. It does not move at all, unless it falls off, but it is completely stable, and I really like it for filming. So in terms of comparing our little beanbag here to the monopod and the tripod camera supports, in that it's definitely the cheapest option, in that it only costs about £6, and it's just filled with rice, which makes it way cheaper than the other two. It's probably the most stable one I have, because you put your camera on there and it kind of molds to the shape of the lens, so it's never moving. It's like no wind is going to affect it if you have your camera on a beanbag. However, it does weigh quite a lot, and you don't really want to be carrying that around, which is why I mainly use it in the car, or I will occasionally take it with me if I'm doing some macro photography of insects and I want to put it on the ground and rest my camera on something on the ground. However, I never have my telephoto lens when I do that, so the weight distribution kind of evens out. Also, if I do that, sometimes I just what I do is I just use my backpack as a beanbag, essentially, which means that you don't need to carry it with you, because you can just use your own bag as a camera support. Which is like the cheapest. If you don't even want to buy a beanbag, you can just use your backpack. Occasionally I do use my jumper as well, which is quite useful. There's some cyclists going past. Just a minute. There we go. And in terms of stars then, in terms of my rating out of 10, also I don't actually know why it's got this massive string attached to it. It's stuck to the edge of the beanbag. I don't know what you would tie your beanbag to. Yeah, I don't know what that's for. but anyway, in terms of rating out of 10 then, I would give this, this is probably a 8. So, it's quite heavy though. You don't really want to be carrying around with you. 7? About the same level as the monopod, really. I like the monopod and the beanbag, and they both have their uses in different areas of wildlife photography, I would say. So yeah, there we go. There's some cars coming past again. I'll start recording again in a minute. So then, in terms of comparing all three camera supports, which is what I'm calling them, although there's probably a better term for that really. But anyway, the monopod, the tripod, and the beanbag. Obviously, the beanbag is slightly harder to compare to the other two because it's way different. However, I would say that the monopod and the beanbag are definitely my favourite, and I hardly ever, if ever, use the tripod, as we saw earlier when it had dust on it. And I think the monopod and the beanbag, I nearly said tripod then, have their uses in different types of photography. Like the monopod is really good for birds and anything that's at a height, whereas the macro one is really good if you want to put your camera on something like your car, or if you want to do macro photography, it's really useful. So I think they both have their uses in different types of wildlife photography. And it would be hard to say which one is best, because it depends what type of photography you find most interesting, I guess. But I hope you have found today's video interesting and useful, maybe. I will add some more detail. I will add the prices. Well, I should have added the prices and the like details of each thing to like when the video was like editing. Holly will have added more information because there's another car. What I'm trying to say is that me in the future, editing Holly, will add details about every item onto the screen when I'm talking about them, so you'll be able to see the prices and stuff like that, and the names of actual stuff, because I don't know what the monopod is called, and it does have an official name. But I hope you have found this comparison useful, and tune in next week for another wildlife adventure, I guess. Oh, actually, I am about to go away, as I mentioned earlier when I got the hat. I am about to go away for 2 weeks to Italy, so soon there will be I'm hoping to make 2 videos about Italian wildlife photography, which will be very exciting. But for now, have a good day, and I hope you tune in next week.